Well, good morning. Welcome to Living in the Tennessee Bottoms. Today we're going to be making some chocolate fudge. The other day we made some peanut butter fudge. Today's recipe, the only thing that's going to be different is we're going to be using chocolate chips instead of the peanut butter, and we're going to be using a blender instead of just stirring everything up. And on that note, I need to get my wood spoon out. We're going to show you what's laid out for today. We do need 1 cup of chocolate chips, 1 7-ounce jar of marshmallow cream, a stick and half of butter or margarine, whichever one you prefer to use. I use both. Today I'm using margarine. The other day I used butter. Just a dab of vanilla extract, 3 cups of sugar, 3/4 cup of evaporated milk, and about a cup of pecans. There's probably a couple of cups in there. I don't know how much I'm going to put in, but I will put it in. You'll need a good pan. I've been using this pan for years. It has one of those little metal things on the bottom, what you call it, makes the heat spread evenly. If you have one that's just a plain pan, you'll have to really watch your temperature. You'll need a 1 glass casserole pan dish. And what we will do is we will take and cut our butter in half, our margarine. It's going to take about a stick and a half. We'll take the other part and we'll grease our pan down. The way it starts out is you take in your pan and you're going to put your 3 cups of sugar, you're going to put your 3/4 cup of evaporated milk, and you're going to put your stick and a half of margarine into your pan. You're going to put it on low heat, about midways, probably a little less, because if it cooks too quick, it'll burn on you, okay? And then if you cook it too slow, it won't set up quick enough. It's a fine line there. Then what you do is you bring that to, as soon as you see it coming to a boil, as soon as you see the first little boil coming into there you set your timer. You watch your clock or your watch. It takes around 4 to 5 minutes. It's according to how fast your stove cooks. Normally it's about 4 minutes for me because it cooks a little quick. If you have to stir it constantly, you can't walk away from it. You have to use a wood spoon. You have to keep it stirred. If you walk away from it, it's going to stick and burn on you. That's the reason you need all your ingredients laid out. You need your blender all put together, plugged in, and ready to roll. And on that note, I don't think I left anything out. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to try to set you up over here so you can see. So hang with us and we'll be right back. Okay, we are going to go ahead and get started here. I've got the camera reset back up. I'm hoping you can see what's going on here. We're going to just dump our 3 cups of sugar in there. And we're going to dump in our 3/4 cup of evaporated milk. And then we're going to put our stick and a half of butter or margarine, whichever one you prefer to use. And also, this is our other half of the stick we had left. I'm just going to take and grease our pan down with it real good. And what I done the other day with a batch of chocolate fudge I made is, and I've been doing this for years and I don't know what I was thinking. I had this butter, I had not quite this much here left over. And I thought, well, I'm just going to stick it in with my recipe here. I had a little bit of evaporated extra milk left over. And I thought, well, I'm just going to pour that in there too. And that being said, what happened is that I made it, it came out, it wouldn't set up real good. You really have to follow what it says. 3/4 cup of evaporated milk, stick and half of butter. Don't put it, whatever you got left over, don't be mixing it in there. Learned the hard way. I knew better when I done it. So that being said, we've got our 3 cups of sugar, our 3/4 cup of evaporated milk, and we now have our stick and a half of butter or margarine in there. And we're going to turn our burner on about medium. There's about a 4 on our stove. But you see I've got everything laid out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use the same cup I use my evaporated milk in. It saves a little bit of washing stuff and everything. I'm going to go ahead and put me a cup of chocolate chips in there. And you can use whatever you want. This here is the kind of a dark, semi-sweet. You can use, they got different flavors or brands or whatever suits your fancy. So we've got it set. We got our marshmallow cream set. We got our vanilla extract set. We're all ready to go. Burner's on low. I can feel it starting to heat up a little bit. I'm gonna turn it up just a bit. Now I'm gonna start stirring this together. And you can see that evaporating milk all right off the bat starts kind of loosening up the sugar there, okay, you know. And now I can feel it heating up. And the first part here is always kind of just a little bit slow. It takes a little bit for the butter to start melting. But like I've said over and over and over again, once you start this process, you cannot walk away from it. It's very important to keep it stirred, and like I said, also a wood spoon. I don't know what the true thing is about the metal spoon. Anybody else knows? I guess you can Google it and look it up. But all I know is I've always been told, I've been doing this for years, is it takes the wood spoon to keep her going. I guess because it gets so hot. Yeah, because this stuff does get hot, and that's the next thing is while you're cooking this, when this starts coming to a boiling state, which you will see here just in a little bit, it will burn you quickly. It's like any candy making, you know, like peanut butter brittle, peanut brittle ball, whatever it is. That stuff gets really hot. Wife made some the other day. Miss Libby made some the other day. It is good. She's also made peanut butter balls, haystacks. I don't know what else it is, but just look through the channel, you know, and see what we got going on. Miss Libby has really been busy in the kitchen because I think she's done some apple pies, and the list goes on. What she's had going on. But like the same with any candy, it gets really, really hot. You can either burn yourself or a child easily. You know, children are very inquisitive. They want to see what's going on. And especially when you break out chocolate chips and marshmallow cream and pecans, you know, they see all this sweet stuff. I mean, they're like, what is going on up there on top of that stove? If you walk away from the stove, it is very easy for one of them little children to walk up and just grab the pan. And I'm not going to go any further. Tragedy happens. And I have seen throughout the years, I have heard of that happening. So please stay with your stuff. Don't walk away from it. And when you go to pour it in the pan, same way, it's hot. You know, just be careful. Now you can see, I know you can't see from here yet, I got a little steam starting to come up. And that means it's starting to get a little warm. You see my butter is melting already. And what's going to happen here in a minute, it's going to have a couple of little bubbles come up in the center. That means it's reaching boiling state. You know, I'm not no rocket scientist, and I don't use a thermometer and all. You got all these other people who use candy thermometers. This is old school. You know, it doesn't get any better than old school. It doesn't take any special stuff to do this. Anybody can do it. But main thing is you have to follow the recipe to the T, or it will get off. Any of our other YouTube friends out there, if you've got any, or anybody, don't be what's going on is any other stuff any hints you can give me or Miss Libby, we'll be glad to take them. Just leave it a comment there. And if you have any good recipes like this, I picked this recipe here up. I was going through Walmart one year at Christmas and was buying all my ingredients to make peanut butter fudge. Got to the checkout and I was doing it, and the lady, she just brought it up. Says, "Oh, so you're going to make some candy?" I said, "Yeah, we're going to be making candy today. We're going to be making peanut butter fudge." And she says, "You know that same recipe right there?" She says, "I know what recipe you're using," because she could tell by what I was buying. She says, "That same recipe right there, you can use chocolate chips. Just take the peanut butter out, use the same recipe, and put chocolate chips in." She says, "The only difference is you have to use a blender because you can't mix it up fast enough. The chocolate chips won't melt fast enough for it to be a consistency, you know, even and smooth. You'd still be chunky." She said, "You have to use a blender." So lo and behold, I came home and then worked out great, and I've been using it ever since. You can see now most of the butter or margarine is melted. Right there, I've got my first little bowl right there. See that? Okay, from right there now, I've looked at my clock. It says 7:28 here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start my countdown. Now I can see it's coming to a boil. Now I'm going to watch it because I'm on about a 4 here. If it starts cooking too quick, I'll turn it down just a hair. So I just hit 729, so it was about 30 seconds there. She's boiling good. But what happens is, if it's if it cooks too quick, it'll start sticking to the bottom of the pan, and you'll see brown starting to come up. That means that sugar is burning. And if she is cooking kind of quick, but 5 minutes is supposed to be the recommended time. I think very few times I have made it to 5 minutes. We used to have a gas burning stove, and on it, you can control your temperature a little better. The electric cook stoves, it's hard to really control that consistency. Miss Libby has brought it up. She thinks we ought to get us one. And we live out in the rural bottom, so we have to get a propane one. I like my propane. It does heat the house good. Speaking of that, today we're having the family over, sisters and brothers and nieces and nephews and all that. We're going to have our Christmas dinner, and everyone likes to play games. We'll come in and we'll have our dinner and everything, and then everyone will get together in different rooms. We'll try to get in one room of the house. And I don't know what our nieces have made us today. Holly and Kelly is in charge of the games this year. Always are, and they do a great job at it. Everyone has a good time, and then we have our desserts, and then everyone goes their way, and then Christmas Day they do Christmas at their home. You can see now it's really coming to a rapid boil. We're at about right at 2 minutes. So I must have my temperature pretty close. I like the way it's boiling right there. You can see, baby, it will burn you quick. Like you see, I got my hand at the end of this spoon, and I ain't nowhere near down to the bottom. Kind of holding it to one edge here, which is kind of dangerous too. Because you stir too quick, you stir too fast, and you're gonna throw it out on you. And trust me, you do not want to throw this out on you. It's looking good there. I don't feel none of my sugar sticking, which is good. My first couple of batches on my first batch of peanut butter fudge I made this year, it cooked too quick on me. And what happens when it cooks too quick on you, when you pour it out in your pan and it sets up, when you start trying to cut it up in pieces, I always use a spatula. We got a metal spatula right here. I always use a metal spatula right here when this gets set up to reach in there and cut it up. It starts breaking into pieces. It doesn't cut up in fine little chunks like you would want. It just starts, it'll cut into a piece and it'll break apart. And if you cook it, you put too much grease, like I did on my chocolate fudge, then it stays kind of sticky and gooey. To get that perfect consistency, your timing is it's all about the timing. And also about how fast you cook it. Right now, this is doing great. We're at 7:32. I'm looking for 7:34 to be my 5-minute peak. But I can tell now it's starting to really get thick, and it means it's getting close to its cooking time. But still, I don't have any brown, because like I said, when that sugar starts sticking in there, some brown will start showing up. Which, I mean, it happens, and it doesn't mean your candy has gone astray on you. You just got to turn the burner down, keep it stirred, and you may have to take it off just a little quicker than normal. But trust me, somebody will eat it. I remember, I don't know how long ago it was, 30 years ago when I first done this. My brother that's passed and gone now, I didn't realize I had bought a big jar of this, the big tall jars. I think they're 14-ounce jars, maybe 15-ounce jars. Anyhow, it says the recipe called for 1 jar of marshmallow cream. I didn't know the difference. I just took and put the whole jar in there. And needless to say, it looked like taffy. You could take the pan, pick the pan up, and it'd run from one end, it'd run to the other end. We all ate our Christmas dinner, and I brought it out at the end I was going to throw it away, and my brother said, "Oh no, 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 no! I'll take it. I'll take it." He loved it. So what I'm saying is, no matter what comes out, pour it in the pan. Somebody will eat it. You know, I've noticed there goes a little spot of brown right there. I don't know if you've seen it or not. We're at 734, but I think I'm gonna make it to 735 because I can tell I want it to be a little more thicker than what it is. Apparently, I must have my temperature right on target today. I'm gonna go ahead and make it 735. I hope. There's a little brown right there. There's a little brown right there. That means that I'm right there at it. We're close now. And on that note, I'm turning the burner on. I got too much brown coming up. See the little brown coming up in it there? All right. I am going to try to move it off the heat just a little bit here. And here's comes your timing right here. I am actually going to move my pan out of the way and we'll get this off. I hope you can still see it. I'm going to move my pan over here. I'm going to go ahead and get my marshmallow cream in here. You ain't got to get it all. I'm one of them old timers. I believe in scraping the jar, you know what I mean? We was always poor kids growing up. If you had anything, you scraped the jar to the hilt. You spend too much time here doing this, and it's going to set up on you. I'm going to go ahead and dump my pecans in. My chocolate chips. And I haven't done the pecan thing. I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to go ahead and just mix a little pecans in with it. And I'm going to go ahead and this bottle here is about gone. Yeah, that was gone. You just want a little squirt there. And on that note there, I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I'm making a mess here. Good. You can see I just left my mess because you ain't got time to be stopping and cleaning anything up. You got to get this mixed up. In the pan, because you have a certain amount of time it can be in this pan right here, or it'll start getting too thick for you to pour out. And that's it. On that note right there, you got to get her in the pan. Here we go. Hope you can see that right there. I'm trying to get you over there. Yeah, it's starting to set up already. I gotta get her out of there. There she comes. You can see how thick it's done got already. And you finally reach a point, you just got to quit. Or it's going to set up on you. I hope you can see it there. Yeah, I'm trying to get it smoothed out here the best I can, but it ain't going to get no smoother than that. I'm just going to leave it alone. Okay. First time I dumped the pecans in it and mixed it up. And on that note, that's what we have. I'm going to go ahead and let this cool, and then we're going to cut it up, and I'll show you the finished product in here in a second. But one of my favorite parts is I like what's in the pan. It's the only bad thing about making candy is I get to scrape the pan, I put it in a little bowl, and I like to eat that. So just stay tuned with us, and I'll show you the finished product here in a minute. Well, here's our finished product. You can see it made a nice size little plate full there. We hope you've enjoyed this video. Do us a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We need all the help we can get. But we just hope you keep enjoying the short videos we're doing. Miss Libby's got some more coming up. Never know what she's got going on in the kitchen. But on that note, y'all have a blessed day and a Merry Christmas.